Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. In today's episode I've come up with a new list I wanted to try. It's going to be fairly similar to a few others, but we've got a few tweaks and I've got a specific purpose behind it. So we're going to try a Zuna list, and the reason I wanted to try this is I was looking at how to win games where you're not automatically ahead. So a lot of the time, if you find yourself behind, there's a lot of talk about, is the game quite snowbally? What are the best ways of coming back from that position? And I think the answer to that is AoE units. So if your opponent positions really well, then obviously you can't make fantastic use of it. But if you play defensively, they still have to come towards you, they're going to be positioned in certain areas, and then you play a big AoE follow-up, that can really swing the tide back in your favour, and sometimes can just mean that you get a really quick finish as well. So the list that we've got Zuna. For our early game we've gone for Savria and Snarling. The reason I've gone for these is that we're obviously going to be playing quite an objective based game, so I wanted a few ways to make sure that we can sort of hold that defensive position, or hold those objectives if we need to. Savria becoming really tough, really hard to deal with the reducing damage to 0 every turn is going to make a big impact. Snarling is going to basically mess around with the opponent, make it more difficult for them to compete and them to take place. Also very good with Crosshair as well. We've got Detonia here, who's just a really good unit at the moment. Lots of utility, damage out of nowhere. Damage from out of line of sight rather, not out of nowhere. We've got Furia, who fits quite well with our game plan, so we're going to be trying to basically sort of play so that they have to come to us anyway, and Fury will basically tick up and up and up, and we can just use it as and when we need to. Arya is just a fantastic utility piece. I think Arya's damage plus ambush is one of the best combinations in the game at the moment. You can steal a control point, you can take things out that you otherwise wouldn't do. I don't think I could see myself building a good list without using Arya most of the time, because if your opponent just pushes too far, Arya goes in the back line, steals a point and shoots things. If your opponent doesn't push far enough, you can try and just get angles from your side, you can leave her back. Amazing unit. Hit and run for the same reason, so really plays the objectives well, because you can move, hit something, move again. It lets you get a lot further, you can contest points you otherwise wouldn't be able to, and that's exactly why our little foe Maximus is here as well. They're both just for the same job, more expensive and more damage for hit and run compared to Maximus, but really useful. We've got Crosshair here, is just one of the best single target damage units in the game at the moment. 6 damage to something that's not moved last turn is amazing, especially in conjunction with Snarling as well. We've got Shrapnel, so I haven't used Shrapnel yet in Rising the Ranks, but Shrapnel's AoE for free, it could be one of those things where if your opponent groups up, 3 damage to everything is incredible. It's so impactful, and that can really make a difference. If we combine that with Detonia, when we're looking up to 5 damage on multiple units, and in our big finisher, the one and only Zappa and Enki, which is another 6 damage as well. So we could theoretically do AoE of 11 damage in a specific area, and I think it's one of those things that can just swing the game. You can kill multiple units in one turn, and it might just be that sort of big finish out of nowhere. So we're going to have to figure out how we save up for this. It might just be a case of skipping an entire turn or playing something cheaper, but it's an amazing finisher. So I want to try this out. The reason I've chosen Zuna as the captain is when you're playing objective-based games, what Zuna tends to do is run in 2 different directions at once, straight off the bat. So Zuna one way, Toltecan the other, and you can just start playing the objectives really nicely. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We've had a nice little influx recently, we hit 350 since I last recorded, which is amazing. It's made me very happy. I stopped what I was doing to tell my partner that when I got that notification. And we're also, you can like, comment, subscribe. I've said that already. Join us on Patreon, but anything you can do to support the channel really does mean a lot to me. But for now, I'll see you once we get in the game. Oh, I was about to stop recording then, but why worry about that? We've got a game immediately. So I don't really know how this is going to play out. I've got a general idea as to how it might work, but our opponent makes a huge difference on how you want to play this list, as far as I can tell, and we're against Lord Kelsier for level 12 opponent. So I'm going to guess there's a very good chance that this person bought the game because Brandon Sanderson exists and you did the world building, because Kelsier is a character from the Mistborn saga. I technically have still not finished the first trilogy. I've had the third one part read for over a year now. We've been talking about getting back to doing 1 night a week of reading, and I should really get to that. That'll be quite impactful. So let's see what Lord Kelsier can do. Have you got any... Was it Ferromancy? I think it was it. No, was it Ferromancy? It's been so long since I played that, I can't even remember the name of the mechanics. So I think what we'll planning to do here is probably keep Zuna north and send Toltecan south, even though that the models have gone the wrong way. Come on, miss. Miss. Okay, good. Because Zuna getting up to here would be nice. We could even just play like Maximus and try and hide behind here. Yeah, that's very reasonable. We're not bothered by that. I mean, the other option is we could even just try and... we could try and just take multiple control points immediately. So what if... Okay, I'm going to try something a bit odd here. What if we send this down here? We deploy Maximus here. Get it as far forward as we can. We take this control point. So Maximus can move immediately. If we get to here, we get a pretty reasonable chance at hitting the opponent. So we got 73. Let's get one of these. So hitting one of those then means we can move back here. We've taken an entire spare control point. We did, however, forget to assign Dardo. And to be honest, we'll pop Mahan over here. And we're just going to send Toltecan down this route. So we're going for an objective play early. This Maximus is really going to help tick those points in our favour. Next turn we've got another 3, so we can play Detonia out. We can actually use Maximus aggressively now that we've taken these. That deployment would be nice. It just blows up their mine and immediately scores a little bit of damage on the opponent. But I hadn't thought about this as an option, but it really does seem to work quite nicely. So their only real choice here is to look for Toltecan. Yeah, so that's what they're going to do. And they did get the hit, so they can move again if they need to, but I don't know what's... is that touching? No. Okay, good. I don't like... Good is in I don't want our opponent to make those mistakes unnecessarily. So let's see what our opponent's going to do. Are they going to... It looks like they might be moving to contest this point, which is fairly sensible, but we can just follow this up with Detonia and try and push some damage onto here. Especially if they start grouping as well. Maximus can just move really far. Okay, well we don't really have any interest in what Zuna actually does. We could even just deploy here. How much are mines doing? 3 still. Okay. So if they go too near the mine, we could even just blow that up if we've got something interesting there.
You have a 2-point lead.
So we're just going to move slightly further back here, make it so they can shoot us if they want, but we'll take the point. In fact, let's just hide behind. I think hiding behind is fine. We're going to want to just take Deadeye out as much as possible. So let's go for this. The question is, do we just try and deploy Sevria right in their face and then shield ourselves? Because that might actually be the play here. Like, they've got a lot of stuff here, but if we just deploy Sevria, say like here, oh, we've got a tiny little gap where we can't quite get through. I mean, this, we can defend ourselves and still put damage out, and we save some leadership, so let's protect ourselves and just take a hit here. They still can get through, but that's fine. We're just going to move forwards here and just deploy Mahan. Let's go this way. No need for Toltecan to howl. No other abilities. Let's just push things up here. So obviously Maximus has to hit that. It's the only sensible option. They can clearly deal with this. But if they don't try and take things out this turn, we're going to actually be able to just score a ton of points immediately. And almost win the game without having killed a unit. Interestingly, that's all their deployment. So that means they're not contesting these. Maximus has to go this way, which means that unless they kill a unit this turn, we only have to kill Deadeye to win the game. So this could be... like, they've got 4 damage here. And they've got the access to the mine. So I think we might have just won this game based on objectives alone. Because if we can just deal enough damage to Deadeye, and we only need to deal 3, we're going to have access to loads. Because 3 takes it down and kills it. This isn't going to die. They've got no more deployment. Oh, they haven't even taken this point. We're just going to win immediately on control points. Oh my god, we're going to get a 0-kill victory. No dead units whatsoever, and we're actually going to win the game. That's amazing. That's so cool. Well, there we have it. Do you know what? I actually think that's worthy of a video on its own. I was going to consider trying to basically, for shorter games, try and get a couple in here and there. Sometimes I will be able to do that, sometimes I won't. But for this, that's a really fun, like, unique thing. I've never seen that happen before. And well played to our opponent, Lord Kelsier. Great book series to choose that after. But yeah, literally 0 dead crew on the on the board whatsoever. That's one of my favourite little things to happen in Moonbreaker so far. So absolutely awesome. Thank you again to our opponent. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, Zafranenki Portrait. Like, I loved this. This was great fun. I'm going to be trying to play a few more games of this list. I think it's got a lot of potential, and hopefully you guys can enjoy that too. If you do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join us on Patreon. Anything you do to support the channel is really appreciated. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and most importantly, have a good day.